Okay, so what is up, troops? I hope we are all doing very well. Now, in this video, I'm going to share the single best strategy right now to build wealth through trading. A way that has formed and become fairly popular, but I think people are using it wrong over the last 5 or so years. It's utilizing something else I've spoken about in another video, but then developing on that, right? And how do you actually build wealth using this formula per se? Even if you're somebody that is low income, hasn't got a lot of capital, hasn't got a lot of savings or wealth already built up, this is a strategy that you can use that will allow you to get that bump in life, get that income up and start building wealth. So let me share a little worksheet, flow diagram type of thing that I've put together, and we'll talk through it. So first and foremost, we have to understand really what is a typical wealth building formula. And fundamentally, there's 2 things that you need. You need, number 1, a cash flowing business or a high income, okay? You need to have more income than what you need. Okay, you need to have some sort of surplus there so you can put that surplus into wealth building assets, right? Assets that are going to appreciate, they're going to grow over time. Okay, so to start with, obviously, we're talking about trading here. So the first and most fundamental thing that you're going to need is a strategy. And not just any strategy, right? That strategy has to be statistically proven. It has to give you a statistically proven edge. If you're looking to build wealth through trading, you simply cannot rely on best guesses and hope to make your investments in the market, right? We can't be gambling. We cannot be gambling here. We have to understand our numbers. Okay, we have to understand that if we place 10 trades, what are we expecting to make from that? Okay, what are we averaging out per month over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Okay, having that statistically proven edge in the market is going to allow you to go into this process with confidence and clarity. So once you've got that, what is the first thing that we need to do? And that is to build a cash flowing business from our trading. And how do we do that? Well, we do that using prop firm capital. So something that I've been speaking about a lot, it's something that I tell all of my clients to do, purely for the fact that, in my opinion, it's the best way of making money online right now. I can't see any other way of making money online right now that, number 1, requires this little capital and provides this much opportunity. Okay, so how do we go about that? So your job as a trader with an edge is to go to these prop firms, pass challenges, and build capital. Okay, your job is to build up the assets that you have under management. Okay, so not just to get that first 100K account. Okay, it's to continuously build that. That is the operations of your business. The quicker that you realize that trading is not a percentage game, it's not a profit game. Trading is a game of capital. The more capital you've got, the easier it's going to be for you to make money. Okay, it's as simple as that. You can lower your risk, you don't have to trade as much, you don't have to over leverage. So the real game that we need to be playing here to build this cash flowing business is the capital game. You have to be able to stack your capital under management. The more you get, the easier your life is going to be. Okay, so your first task is to, number 1, obviously build the skill set to be able to pass these challenges, but then get that first challenge passed so you've got access to that first bit of capital. Okay, because it's that first bit of capital that's going to allow you to really propel this cash flowing business and ultimately compound this very, very quickly. Now, once you start building that capital, the job then is very simple, right? This is going to stack over time, right? This is always going to grow. So as soon as you get that first 100K account, let's say, you then obviously apply your strategy to that account, and that's where you build your income. The more you stack, the more your income goes up, okay? And by doing this, you can scale your income very, very quickly, very, very quickly. Because, I mean, let's say, for example, you get that first 100K account, let's say you have X amount of income. I mean, if you go and pass another prop firm challenge in the next 30 days, 60 days, whatever that may be, in 1 or 2 months, you've then been able to essentially double your income. Okay, you don't have to go through this process of compounding your small £1,000 investment over the next 2 or 3 years to try and grow your income. You simply just layer up this and your income essentially doubles every time you do it, right? I mean, you could even jump even quicker here. You go 100 by 200, then you've got 300 and grow it that way. And then any money that you make from this, you just recycle back, buy more challenges. This should be your day-to-day operation. All I'm trying to do here is pass challenges. Pass challenges, get your payouts. Pass challenges, get your payouts. Okay, and it's this process that is going to scale your cash flow in business. So you have something a little bit like this. Okay, so I hope you can see that, right? So let's say, for example, your strategy averages 5% a month. Okay, so being very, very conservative. I mean, 5% could very well be 2, 3, 4 trades a month, and you could be making this. Okay, now the reason that we do this is because you can scale so quickly, right? The same 5% a month, or that initial 5% per month, is going to make you it's going to make you $4,000 a month on that 100K account. Okay, obviously taking away the 20% split that majority of prop firms take. Okay, so the more that you scale this, the same trades you're placing, that same 5% is going to allow you to rapidly increase what you're earning. Okay, so what was making you $4,000, if you go get yourself up to $600,000, is going to be making you $24,000 per month. Okay, and this is going to allow you to have that cash flow coming in every month so that you can then move on to stage 2, which is that wealth building side of things. Okay, so really, your job as a trader, your initial job as a trader is very simple. Develop an edge in the market and then use that edge to stack capital. Okay, it doesn't matter, you don't need to be making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% per month in profits. You need to be good at making 5% or 7% or 6%, whatever it might be, right? Whatever the edge is going to tell you, whatever that data is going to tell you about your edge, you just want to stick to it. Your job here is to follow the rules, execute on the trades that meet those rules, and that's it. It's not to worry about whether the market's going to go up, down, left, or right. It's about following those rules and letting that edge play out over time. And then as that edge plays out over time, you're going to be applying that strategy to these prop firm challenges and to your prop firm accounts to scale your capital, thus scaling your income. Okay. So this is really task 1. Okay. This is really task 1. Now, once you've solved the whole cash flow business side of things, right, it's super important to sort of get this cash flow business rolling first, right? There's no point trying to build wealth if you haven't got the cash flow. Okay, it's the same as when I see people that are earning a very low wage and they're investing in things like stocks and they're making investments into stocks. It's like that £50 a month that you're putting into stocks, you might as well save that, build a high income skill like trading, use that skill then to build a high cash flowing business. So you've got that surplus income, you've scaled your monthly income, and then you've actually got some sort of surplus money there to actually start investing in wealth building assets so that you can actually make some substantial money from those wealth building assets. Okay, so what is that wealth building asset? Very, very simple. It's your personal capital. Okay, so the reason why we do this, the reason why we start on the cash flow business prop firm capital side of things is because majority of people don't have the personal capital to invest into the markets to generate anywhere near this sort of money. Anywhere near. I mean, again, if you want to make $4,000 a month from your trading, and this is what $100,000 is doing, you invest in £1,000 into the market, unless you're over risking, over trading, or over leveraging, gambling in other words, you're never going to make it. Never going to make it. Remember, this is a capital game. Okay? So once we've solved this, we then move on to solving that personal capital side of things and looking to build out that wealth building model. Okay, so how do we do that? Let me come over here. So this is a little bit how things will be looking, for example, if you get to that 600K mark, right? Pulling in around about $24,000 a month in income. Now, what you're not going to do is spunk every last penny of that on your lifestyle, okay? Because then you're just as broke as you were before. Okay, you've still got zero left at the end of every month and you have to go and make money to then be able to spend it again. Okay, so we want to allocate a portion over to funding our lifestyle, okay? Things like holidays, cars, houses, the normal stuff, right? Living a normal life, okay? It might be 10% of your income. It might be 20% of your income. That is entirely up to you, okay? But you want to be conservative because you want to then be able to focus on the second side of things, that second pot of money that you're building, which is your personal capital. Okay, so if we move over here, what we're then going to have is something that looks a little bit like this. Let me move over ever so slightly. So it's going to look a little bit like this. So you're going to have your cash flowing side of the business. So your prop firm capital, which is yes, going to be funding your lifestyle, which is yes, going to be ever growing, right? You're never just going to stop, right? The game here is to collect as much capital as possible. So yes, that might be $24,000 a month to start with, but you're continuously going to be scaling this cash flowing business, right? Building more funding over time. What you're also then going to do with the profits that you make from this cash flowing business is move that into your personal capital pot. Now, again, this might start small, but you're going to continuously be putting money into it, right? So this is going to be, number one, it's going to grow by you making deposits. But what this is also going to do is going to grow through compounding, okay? If you're looking to build wealth from your trading, you want to leave this alone entirely. You don't want to draw down from this at all, right? You want to let this grow over years, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Okay, and let it grow, right? You're trying to build your personal wealth here. Okay, you're not trying to get up to 50,000 and go and buy a new watch, right? You're looking to grow this capital over time. Okay, so you don't want to touch this personal capital at all. You want to let that grow. Okay, again, same trades. You can connect all of this up into one ecosystem, so you'll have a master trading account. And then every trade that you place on one of your master accounts is going to go to all of your prop firm accounts. It's going to go to your personal capital. You're just not going to touch the profits here, and you're going to touch the profits here. So every time you make money on that prop firm account, you're going to draw down from it, you're going to take all of it, and you're going to go again. Okay, you always want to be banking your profits on these prop firm accounts. Okay, now the great thing about this prop firm side of things is, once you've got that first account, you've got that first payout on the account, it becomes entirely risk-free. Okay, because that first payout, you get a refund on your fee. Okay, so for example, the £450 that you might have paid for a 100k account, you then make your first bit of money, secure 1 or 2% profit, let's say. You then withdraw your profits, you get your payout, and included in that first one, you're going to get a refund of your initial fee. So this cash flowing business is essentially going to turn into something that has zero capital invested. The upside from this is entirely infinite. Okay, because you have not invested a penny into this, right? Yes, you might fail some prop firm challenges, but again, listen, like the return on cash you're going to get is going to be 1,000 times what it would be if you put your money into a normal trading account. Okay, so this is the sort of ecosystem that you want to build out within your trading. Okay, it's not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. But if you can build the skill set and you can have a statistically proven edge in the market that allows you to find and execute high probability trades with a clear set of mechanical rules to follow, this is 100% possible. 100% possible. Okay. Now, what that's then going to look like is something a little bit like this, right? Once you've done this for long enough, you're then going to have something that looks a little bit like this, right? Number one, you've got your cash flowing business, which again is ever scaling. You're always growing, again, up to, let's say, 1.4 million. You're then continuously growing this. Funds are still being added from different prop firms, okay? And yes, this is going to fund your lifestyle, okay? The more that you grow this, the better lifestyle you can have, okay? The better lifestyle you can have, okay? But you always want to remain giving yourself a small portion of what you earn to fund your lifestyle, okay? Because you want to be pushing a good portion of the money that you make from here into your personal capital to continue feeding the growth of this money. Okay, so over time, this is going to compound, and it might have started at 20,000 or 5,000. Okay, but this is now going to be growing exponentially, right? Because it's now experienced the effects of compound interest. Okay, we've got the deposits coming from here, but we've also got the compounding profits every single month, every single day, every single trade feeding back into the position. Right, so you always, for example, you're going to be trading on a fixed 1% risk. So that 1% as the capital grows is going to allow you to then exponentially increase the overall profit size that you're making. Okay, now when you obviously get to a certain level, what you don't want to do is then just stay here. Okay, you then want to use some of this capital that is essentially in the market to go and put it into assets like property, right? Assets that are going to be secure, brick and mortar investments, again, securing some of your wealth in real assets. Okay, but you need to get to that stage first, right? You need to get a certain amount of money together through this model to then be able to go and buy assets with cash. I mean, a lot of the time, if you're doing something like this, you're going to want to go and buy these assets in cash. Okay, you don't want to take out additional debt on something like this, because you're better off. You're going to get a better return of your money, leaving a lot of that into your trading account. Unless you can get a good loan, a good mortgage on that property, then often you're better off just leaving that money in your trading account to, again, get that better growth on the money. Okay, so again, I guess I made a mistake there. I mean, sometimes depending on the rate that you're going to get buying the property, you're probably better off leaving the money in the trading account. Okay, because you're going to be able to get a higher percent return on that money that would be tied up into a property inside your trading account. Okay, but overall, this is the sort of model that you want to build, right? You build your cash flow business first and you scale your income. Okay, you get up to that certain level of income where you've got a lot of leftover money every single month. You then use that to feed your personal trading account, which you don't touch. You let that compound over time before then using this capital to put that money into brick and mortar investments. Okay, something that can be passed down. Okay, and if you can get this right, I mean, this doesn't necessarily have to take a long time, right? The great thing about, number one, this cash flow business is it's incredibly scalable, very, very scalable. I mean, you could, for example, we've had a number of clients, Calvin, for example, who's at 1.4 million in funding, or he was when I did my interview with him not too long ago. He got to 1.4 million funding in 1 year. Okay, 1 year he got to that level. So, I mean, for example, if somebody's making $24,000 off of 600K at just 5% per month, I mean, I don't need to do the maths, but if you're at 1.4 million, there's an awful lot of money being made there. Okay, and he was able to achieve that 1.4 million in a year because he focused on not the trading. He got himself that edge in the market. He understood his data, and then he just followed his rules. And he used that skill set and that knowledge and that strategy to just focus on building capital. And that's what allowed him to essentially go and live the life that he wanted to live. Okay. And again, the whole time that he's been doing this, he's been feeding money into his personal trading account, and this has then been scaling over time as well. Okay. So this is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. And like I said at the beginning of the video, even if you're somebody that hasn't got a lot of money there, you haven't got wealth already built, this is something that you can do. A prop firm challenge at 100K is going to cost you around about £450. Okay, as long as you've got a strategy in place and you can pass that prop firm challenge could very, very quickly replace your income. Okay, or again, even if you did this alongside your job, it's going to give you that surplus income. You don't increase your lifestyle, you have that surplus income, and you reinvest that into more prop firm accounts. And then very quickly, as long as you've got that skill set, I mean, if you get yourself to 400K in funding, 600K in funding, that is life-changing money straight away. And you've immediately springboarded yourself into the stage where you can now start building wealth. Okay, so all of this comes down to, let me just go back to here, comes back down to the start of this video. Follow these 3 things and you will build and make a hell of a lot of money from your trading. Okay, I couldn't do this when I first started. Why? Because prop firm capital was not a thing. It did not exist when I first got into the markets, or it probably did, but not in the sense it does today. It was not as accessible as it was today. So I had to use my strategy to essentially gamble my way to becoming successful at this. I had to be one of the lucky ones, which I luckily was, and scale my capital very quickly by being aggressive, by over-risking, by over-trading. Okay, and I got lucky, but you don't need luck anymore. You need a strategy with a statistically proven edge and clear mechanical rules to guide you to those trades. You then leverage that edge to get capital from prop firms. You increase your income through this cash flow and business model, and then you put that into wealth building assets. Very simple, very simple. It does not need to be overcomplicated. So I'm going to let you think on that one. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, any questions you have, please just stick them in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about the video. Make sure to like, comment, of course, and also subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.